How's it going, internets? I hope you're having a lovely day. It's that time again. It's time to get into some animation. It's time to get creative. Time to have some fun. And it's time to get inspired. And today's inspiration comes from Sam Kieth. If you're not familiar with his work, check right over here. The number one thing that he's probably known for is a great comic series that was later turned into a cartoon as well, or animated show called The Max. And it's really cool. Great style. I really like the way that he does necks and faces and stuff. Definitely, I feel like there's a little bit of Hewlett kind of style in some of his facial expressions. You can tell like just the styles are similar. I don't even know if they know each other or have ever influenced each other or anything, but very Tank Girlish expression and face layout here. But this stuff, like how he does his Batman, his muscles, over exaggerated, big poppy, bulgy muscles are very cool. And this is the Max character that he did. That was just a really, really fun and really popular character of his that I love. There's another couple of, it's a little skewed, but there's another one. He's worked with a lot of Marvel stuff as well, and this is another one of like the Hulk. But like I said, he's got some great lines. I really like how he mixes like a really clean line with more of like a dirty, scribblier line. I think that's a great stylistic choice, and he always kind of has a little bit of caricature in the way that he draws stuff too. You can see like the lengthening of the Hulk's face is really nice and kind of slims it down a little, and it contrasts more with the big hulking body as well. And this was the one that I saw the other day that reminded me of him. I haven't looked at his stuff for a little while now, but I saw this and I was like, who is that? And I was like, oh yeah, it's the amazing stuff of Sam Kieth. But yeah, I mean, he's got mastered down his posing. You can see it's a really nice silhouette throughout here as well. You got the over exaggerated Wolverine, not ears, what would you call those? Accents to his helmet there. But again, I love the contrast that he has. Reminds me a lot of when people talk about rhythm or like music in a line. Like if you follow this right here, you got a really sharp, clean line. It gets a little funky, a little bit still pretty clean, but a little bit thicker. So you get a little more, like if we were starting, let's say this was a song, this would be like da 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 da, and then a little chaos, a little bit less chaos, and then going through. But you see, there's that contrast and that little bit of rhythm, and the playfulness in a line that is very musical to me, in how you approach it. And it's something that I know that I think about when I'm drawing, but I don't know that I'm at that point yet where I really have mastered that way. It's still, to me, just about rendering the shapes and the forms and perspective and all that, and not quite in the point where I can really say that I'm purposely doing that or doing that with grace and ease yet, but something definitely look forward to doing. But that's a little more about drawing. We tend to just focus on animation, but I think a lot of that stuff can be put into animation as well. So anyways, I found this quote from him that I thought I would share with you guys as well. He said, the challenging bit is sometimes taking more time doesn't always make it a better piece of art. Sometimes, yikes, it gets worse. Sometimes a good drawing is knowing when to quit. And that's something we haven't really talked about here too much, but especially with animation. A lot of times you'll hear people noodling. That's a kind of a common a common term that you'll see used fairly often. And that's when you get to a point where your shot's pretty good and you're at a point where you want it, and there's things that you could probably fix and continue to polish on them. But sometimes you lose the snappiness or that little bit of edge or the little bit of grit that's in there. Because if you make everything all polished and all super silky smooth all the time, sometimes it loses some of its character and the personality in there. And so sometimes it's important to know when to quit and when to just say, you know what, this is where the shot's going to be, this is what the shot's going to be, it's good. And that's the nice thing about working at a studio, is that you're given pretty much, this is the deadline that we have to have this movie out by, so you don't have 6 months to noodle a 30-second shot. You know, you got to get it done, you got to get it out, and you got to give yourself a deadline, and it is what it is. because otherwise you can sometimes lose a little bit of that fire and that the personality that you originally started off with, or that original goal. And that's kind of one of the fun parts about doing these kind of quick fire ones here with you guys and sharing this stuff every day, is that we don't get a whole lot of time to noodle and really perfect this stuff. So yeah, sometimes it's raw and sometimes it's not as good, but I think it keeps, at least for myself, it keeps myself focused to try to do the best that I can in the amount of time, which is usually segueing into that. If you're not familiar with what we do here, if this is your first time watching, thanks for watching. You're amazing. And what we do for the rest of the video is we give ourselves pretty much 48 frames. I go off and I find a different rig like this one, which is called the Dee Rig. It's a free rig you can grab on Creative Crash. And we kind of play with it together, discover some stuff together, learn along the way, kind of have a little bit of instruction throughout, a little bit of just hanging out with me while I animate. But most of all, the goal of doing these videos is to make you guys out there feel like you're not alone in your creative day. We're doing these every day, so you have time to share, so you feel like there's somebody out there going through those struggles with you. And the main part of this is to just hopefully inspire you guys to go off and create your own stuff. And then, as always, I always say share it back anytime down below in the comments or anything. Happy to give you some thumbs up and try to promote your guys' stuff as well, or at least give you some encouragement and some feedback or anything too. So that being said, let's go ahead and get in here. I did already save my file, and we are using Autodesk Maya 2014 for this one. So this one we might be a two-parter. Let's see how it goes, but I was thinking what would be fun is to do kind of like a giant swing. So before we really even get into the character, we're going to need to set up our file, or our scene pretty much here. Let's go ahead and do that. And I think we'll make it a little bit longer. Kind of like in those giant circus acts where they have like a giant swing. Let's go ahead and copy this and paste that into another one. We'll raise this one up here, just like that. And let's make sure we put it pretty much right in the middle here. And should we make sidebars for it? We could, but I think I'll just stick with this for right now. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. Let's do another cylinder here. Raise it up. Make it a lot skinnier. And zero it out there. Zero it out there. And then we'll take translate X. We'll move it to, let's go just negative 24 here. And then we'll copy that. Actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and make it a little bit smaller. No, okay, couldn't delete that yet. Let's make it a little bit smaller here. Okay, and we'll grab this, copy that, and paste another one here. And we'll do this one at 24. Okay. Again, nothing too fancy, but just so we set up kind of the basics of what would be a swing here. Now, if I'm doing this right, I'm going to grab both of those and select this thing and parent it. And then if we did that right, that should move together. Okay. And then what we want to do is we want to create a locator here and bring that up and pop it right in the middle of that guy, and create another locator and bring it right into the middle of that one. And then we want to grab this and window outliner, go to show all, and control click the locator 2, parent that, and then if we did that right, we grab the locator 2, and we can move everything. 0, this guy, control click locator 1, parent that, and then we can grab locator 1, move that guy, okay, and then I'll grab locator 2, and control click locator 1, and parent that. Now if we did that right, we take locator 1, and we can rotate it like a swing. Alright, cool, seemed to work pretty well. Okay, so let's go ahead and save our file again, just since that's all set up. Now the next thing we want to do is, pretty sure I want to do this upside down just for the fun of it. Figure it'll be more exciting doing it this way. And let's rotate the feet back here. And bear with me, we just got to create a storytelling pose here for this guy. Nice fun one if we can. And I normally do these feet in FK for something like this, but unfortunately, the way this rig is set up, I actually am eager to use this rig because it looks like it's very flexible and it's got a lot of things. But unfortunately, one of the feet disappears if you switch it to IK. Let's see, is it this one? Yeah. You see, boom, the actual foot disappears. So that's kind of a bug in the rig. So we're going to keep them in IK, which is basically where you set each frame. It doesn't move based off the body mechanics, which would be helpful for this shot. But we'll use what we got. And we could always just do it where he's doing the swing from the right way, where he's sitting upward, but where's the fun in that? Where's the challenge in that? Versus doing something like this. Okay, let's go ahead and rotate the feet back a little bit more. Now we're going to get another locator, so I'll create another locator here. And we're going to take the hip controller, should be the main root, okay? And then control click locator 3 and parent those together. And now if we grab the locator 3, should be able to move the body, okay? And then we want to get locator 3 and control click locator 2 and parent those together. And then if we did that right, we should be able to grab this guy. Grab locator 1, and we should be able to swing the body. And like I said, this would be where it would be nice if we could get those FK feet, but we'll just have to move them on our own. So that's okay. But now we've got the basic swing that we want. So let's go ahead and swing the arms out. One thing I was noticing with this is the shoulder controls are kind of funky on here. That's okay. Let's hang the arms out. Rotate the head in, head out of here. Make that open right now. Let's go ahead and save our file one more time here. Rotate that forward a little bit. Rotate back. Rotate the wrist a little bit here. And let's start with window outliner. Let's grab locator 1. Now let's start with the swing being somewhere kind of like this. And then again, let's go ahead and grab those feet here. Maybe what we'll do is we'll parent the feet to another locator and do that as well, just to save us a little bit of time. Then we can do a little bit of over animation on there if we want. Normally I wouldn't have done that, but I think it's going to be, for the sake of time, a good way to do this. So let's actually step back then before we did that, and let's create another locator. And this is locator 4. So 4 is the feet, 3 is the hips, 2 is the base, and 1 is in there. Okay, it's always good to kind of make sure you plot out everything here. So I'm going to grab both of the feet here, and so we're going to grab both of the feet here, and control click locator 4, parent those together, and now let's grab locator 4, make sure we got that. Okay, we're going to locator 4, and we will parent it with locator 2. So control click locator 2 and parent those. Okay, now if we did that right, we should go back to locator 1, and we got what we need to go. Okay, cool. And the reason we do it to locators is because if we parented the actual foot to the base, we wouldn't be able to go in and really do some animation on the feet themselves. They would be strictly parented to that. Just another quick example, and I think I've done this before, but let's say I want to be holding a pen. So if I parent the pen to the hand, then forever I'm moving this hand and the pen's going here. But if I put a locator in here and I parent the hand to the parent the pen to the locator and the locator to the hand, which is pretty much a middleman here, then I can do this, but I can also, if I want to go in and tweak the pen to have some overlap or some drag as I'm moving it, I can still do that. So that's why we do it with the locator instead. And if you want more in depth on that, definitely check out How to Cheat in Maya. It's a great book if you're looking for more info on that. So the next thing that's going to be tricky is we want to be careful how we key we're not going to grab everything and set a key like we normally would, because that would key all of our locators and stuff and our parents, and that would get a little confusing. So gotta kind of be careful with how we do this. So we'll go ahead and grab all of our main stuff, and we'll just set a key on each individual thing here. And remember, just have nerve curves, nerve surfaces, and polygons all selected. Set that, set that, set that, set that, set that. Locator 1, and let's set that at 0, and let's go to 18, and we'll swing it forward that way. So let's see here. This will be every like 9 frames pretty much, 9, 9, okay. And let's see, 54, let's go with that. 18, so then we'd have what, 36? Then be back again. And then if we did that right, 27, 36, 45, 54. Okay, that's right. And then we'll go back one more time, which would be, it's another 9, 63, 70. sections. Okay. Now let's look at the spine here. So let's go ahead and pull it back a little bit there, and then you go 27, just to have a little bit of drag here, and 36, 45, slide it back again, 63, we'll drag it back there, and then we'll bring it back to let's see, bring it back to where it was before. Okay. Well, we get a little bit of drag and slide in the hips there, so. We want to rotate that back here, and then have it swing forward there, right, back and forward. There we go. Yep. Back and forward, and back again. So let's see here. Okay, and then let's go ahead and take a look at the spine here. All 3 sections. And let's start at 12 here. Go back there. And then what do we have? 9 frames from there will be 20. Let's just do it at the same, just because easier to set up, and then we'll offset it. So we'll drag back here. 27, we'll put there. And 45, we'll drag back here. 54, 63, pull here. Then back again. So let's go and see it now. And I'm pretty sure we want to delay that by about 2 frames as well. So if there's some successive movement. So let's take that, go 2 frames, let's go and see. Okay, and then I want to take the hips now, and we'll do a little bit of up and down here. So it's about here. I want to extra thing here that I don't like here. There we go. Did I get rid of it? What's on 50? It's just a translate Y, I think. Okay. I think that rotate X on this guy needs to start off a little bit further back because it looks like it's going further forward than it is back. Let's go ahead and look at the arms here. Really drag those back. Swivel forward. Let's switch the parent to the clavicle here. And let's go ahead and try that. I think that's what might be messing us up here. I think right now that would keep the arms where they want to be. Yep, that's what I want. Okay. And then let's go ahead and take them over here. Let's see, bring them to Y forward a little bit. Okay. Drag them back. Forward. 45, drag them back. 463, lean forward. Okay, starting to come together, and let's look at the elbows here. Let's actually go ahead and save our file. We haven't done that for a little while. Save our file. Haven't done it for a while. And grab those guys. I think we want to do these on 18s here. I'm sure we'll probably tone these down a little bit more. still a little bit more, so maybe I'll just do something like that. Okay, maybe we'll just do more on the arms then. At least on these parts. Drag there. More drag there too. This one feels a little too far. Scale forward a little more. Not getting enough straight though out of these elbows. So let's do something more in the middle. Probably a little more bend there. Okay, let's do a little bit on the hands because that's going to exaggerate everything as well. We'll go back on the 18s here. Let's see here. I feel like we should do maybe a little more on the chest and a little less on the hips here. So let's exaggerate this a little bit more. And let's scale back on the rotate on the hips a little bit more. Just a little bit. So let's see here. Okay, and let's look at the neck. frames in between, then go ahead and mix it up a little bit more, exaggerate and shrink down some stuff. Just so they're not hitting kind of too similar. Okay, and let's take a look at the feet here. Down a little bit more, back a little bit there, and I'll take that over to 45, and you're kind of mimicking frames. I usually don't do this too much, but and let's rotate it back here. Actually, I think we want to go back there, forward here. Because their feet would be trying to hold on to this. Back again. And let's get the translate Y again on these. And let's do some toe here. Toe roll. Oop. Nope, nope, nope. Get rid of that. I want ball roll, I think. Drag there. Yeah. Kind of foot forward. Drag back. Foot forward. Drag back. Go back again. What's this here? Okay, and then let's take everything on this foot and push it forward. Forward a frame. And everything on this foot, just so he's not hitting again at the same time, and push it back a frame. Do we do anything actually on the head control itself? I don't think so. So let's take that forward, drag it back, tip it forward, drag it back, and then back again. And let's go ahead and delay that 2 frames and minimize it a little bit more. Let's push it forward 1 frame. Okay, and now let's look at that. Let's go ahead and see our file again. We had a little bit different kind of animation for today than usual, but I think it's kind of fun. So let's get some hand posing in here. Something that's a little better than that. We can do better than that, right? twist that index finger just a little bit. Where's that locator 1? Push it back to 3. So I still get a little bit of movement there too. So just so it loops a little better. Feels a little better. Okay, now we're going to get back into those fingers. Go to save our file again while we're at it. Get at them blinking here, so eyes got this. And they close their eyes as it goes down. Opens them back up again. And just on the down, I want to have that blink. And then open up here again. Keep the eyes open a little bit longer. So I get that blink and then boom. Keep that a little bit higher. Keep it open. And get this going, get the fingers working. Set that. Let's look at the spread. So, index spread, middle spread, pinky spread. Drag it back here. Not so much index. 27. Forward. And let's go and look at the other side. Get a little bit of drag in those fingers then. So again, we want to lock off our first frame here. And then I think we're going to drop an 18. toes back, and then we're going to go back to where we started there. And then we're going to do a little bit of, what did we say that was? Thumb reaching, crunch, there. Drag back. Drag. Now we'll go back to it once again. Alright, I feel like that worked out pretty well. You can definitely go in here and tweak around a little bit more, but I think that's pretty good. One thing I might do with the feet is just universally delay both of them about 2 frames. I think I want the toes to work on a different timing. I'm not really getting as much, which was, what, ball roll? So I think for the ball roll, instead of having them occur at like the 18, let's have them occur at like the 9. And roll like at 63. Let's try going the other way with that. Just want to exaggerate those toes a little bit more. Let's see. No, let's go the other way and we'll just amp it up. Let's see. Let's go about 2 frames before that though. There we go. Which probably feels a little bit looser. I think we could probably exaggerate the up and down a little bit more here as well. So just take that and really drag it down. Maybe it's a little too much. Maybe we just need to go take what we already had and just pull that up a little bit more. Yeah, it feels pretty good. Let's go ahead and turn your curves off. Let's do a little bit of more translate Z maybe in these feet. Just feel like something's not. Let's just do it with one foot. Gotta keep it where it is. No, this one's gonna need to be up a little bit more. Let's see. Maybe universally, just gotta pull it back a little bit more. Yeah, it feels pretty good. We can definitely keep polishing this for a long time. I think the main idea came across. Definitely a fun little exercise and play around with. So let's take a look back at where we started. We're looking at Sam Kieth, and he said the challenging bit is sometimes taking more time doesn't always make a better piece of art. Sometimes, yikes, it gets worse. Sometimes a good drawing is knowing when to quit. And I think that's an important thing too. To just be able to know yourself, know when you can put in the good effort. Sometimes what I used to do a lot, and I haven't been doing this just because we kind of try to keep these kind of shorter form and go from start to finish and everything, but with more polished shots that I do, like I'll work on it for about an hour, hour and a half, and then go get something to drink, throw the play blast of it on my phone, go sit, have something to drink for 5 minutes, and then watch the play blast on my phone over and over and over again. And getting it at a different size even sometimes helps too. Where if you may be looking, like this, I'm on a big monitor, I'm looking through everything, but here I can, hold it back, look a little bit, and gives me different perspective. And sometimes I can see things, even just getting away and, you're already relaxing, having a smoke or having a drink or whatever. You get a different mindset, and sometimes you can see stuff that you might not have seen otherwise. So I think it's always good to not. Sometimes the idea of pushing through and pushing and pushing and pushing and never pausing to reflect on what you're working on isn't always a good thing. Other times you got to push yourself, and you can't just sit around and tinker around all the time too. So let me know what you guys think if you do end up using this rig, which I think is a really fun rig, and I'd like to play around with it some more too. Maybe I'll use it in a different example sometime here too. But yeah, if you do, definitely share it back so I can see all the wonderful stuff you guys come up with and you guys are creating. I hope you guys are continuing to push yourselves and to also be able to know when to quit as well, for the day, not forever. Keep pushing, keep going, keep driving. You guys can do it. I believe in you. I love you lots. And I'm starting to ramble, so I guess that means that is that time where we should say I love you lots, and we will see you for some more animation tomorrow.